Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we got 7.36a. That's right, there's a patch already. It's only been 5 days since the patch, and it's kind of a lot, guys. Like, this is actually going to take me a minute. It is currently 1:30 a.m. where I am. I was about to go to bed, and then a patch came out, so yeah, I guess we're going to read it. I will not be reading these general changes, I'm not going to lie. They basically fixed a ton of bugs, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like for instance, okay, one that is notable is Timbersaw's exposure therapy just didn't work. If you don't know what that is, like, this guy's innate. Basically, when you destroyed a tree, he was supposed to get mana. It just didn't work. And the hero was still being picked. Like, the hero, even without its innate. So I think now that this hero just has an innate, it just didn't work. It might be broken because Twisted Chakram is frankly insane. So yeah, Timber might be a little bit crazy. I guess, there are some really insane ones. Like for instance here, fixed Storm Spirit's Ball Lightning sometimes not costing mana. Like, what in the world? So, okay, let's get into the item changes and the hero changes. First off, we have Eternal Shroud. Base magic resist decreased from 25 to 20. That is not going to be enough to kill this item, even with another nerf. This item has been nerfed into nerf into nerf. It's just still too good. It's just an insane item. If you understand how the passive works, basically the way it stacks is just absolutely insane. And so, yeah, the item is still absurd. Then we have Abaddon, whose win rate stayed basically the exact same from the patch to after the patch, and they nerfed his bubble. I still think the hero will be pretty good, but this is definitely a somewhat significant nerf to bubble, especially in the later levels. Also, they nerfed his E. Then they nerfed Ancient Apparition, which, I didn't even get a chance to play or really look at yet. But, yeah, they nerfed the E very hard. Chilling Touch. Rhyme stacks from 2 to 1. That's pretty killer, honestly. That really hurts. Especially if you're going like an Ags build. That's really rough. Bonus incoming, bonus damage when far away, reduced from 75 to 60. Okay, so this thing is like slightly tankier now. Axe now levels with Culling Blade, that is Coat of Blood. So it used to just be flat up 1. Now, early game, it's only 0.4. And until you get to level 18, it's then the same, which is pretty rough. They also nerfed One-Man Army, which is really funny because no one was even taking One-Man Army. The other facet is like way better. So, and this 10 talent, they nerfed the 10 talents no one's taking. There's no way that they think this is why Axe is broken. It's not because of the 10 talent or because of One-Man Army. This is gonna hurt him a little bit, but like, I don't even think this is the end of the world. I still think Axe will be insanely good. So, kind of weird changes, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sure he's still going to be really good. Batrider, Smoldering Resin no longer works on Wards and Couriers. I didn't even know it did that. Now Stoked, his innate, works with Flaming Lasso, which makes a lot of sense. This thing was way too broken. It gave you 8% spell amp and 10% movement speed at level 1. Honestly, I still think the hero is not going to be terrible, just for the fact that this Smoldering Resin works with Sticky Napalm and Blood Grenade. No, sorry, yeah. The Resin works with Sticky Napalm and Blood Grenade works with Sticky Napalm. And so this hero's early landing is just so good that I'm pretty sure it's still going to be strong even after these changes. Like, this is a huge nerf, this is a nerf, and Sticky Napalm not giving vision is a huge nerf. Don't get me wrong, this hero is obviously much worse now, but it might still be okay for the pro level. Then we have Chen, who is pretty good right now. Creep health increased from 200 plus 80 per Chen level to 220 plus, oh, so they buffed Chen. I'm pretty sure Chen is like really good. That's kind of weird. Crystal Maiden, Frozen Expanse, now tied. Oh, is this her passive? It's tied to Freezing Field instead of Arcane Aura. Oh, okay. So the Frozen Expanse is one of her facets that gives her cast range and AoE, bonus AoE on all of her abilities, if they're AoE, of course. So what they did is, instead of it being tied to your E, it's now tied to your ulti, which maybe incentivizes taking the other facet, but this one is better. Basically, you don't instantly get bonus cast range, you have to skill your ulti to get it, and that's pretty rough, honestly. However, I will say at level 6, getting 75 cast range is pretty nice. Obviously, it isn't an overall nerf, but I don't think this is the end of the world. It's definitely tough. Frozen Expanse AoE bonus now only applies to Crystal Maiden. It worked on allies? What? 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 Thorny Thicket facet no longer increases spell amp. Okay, so nerfing Willow a little bit. I think her other facet's like okay, but this makes sense. This was definitely the better one. Death Prophet, she was not doing well. Spirit Collector now triggers from hero deaths globally instead of in a 2,000 radius. What? Wait, what? Which one's Spirit Collector? On other heroes' deaths, empower your next exorcism. Oh yeah, this is just global now? What? That sounds like really broken. Am I crazy? I don't know. That sounds like so goofy, actually. I don't know. Surely this makes the hero pretty good, right? Surely it makes the hero pretty good. I mean, global, you're just getting these like giga spirits that are going to work with your ulti. That sounds pretty good. They buffed Kinetic Fence. Glimpse can now be used on Lone Druid Spear Pair. Very good. Very good, Valve. So Dragonite, the main thing that this hero was known for, or good for, was this corrosive dragon damage per second and the armor reduction. However, well, and honestly a lot of other things, and I just made a full video on Dragonite for the Game League website. So if you're interested in learning why this hero is so good, I just made a full guide on this exact build. Now, it's slightly nerfed, but 5 damage per second, guys, is not going to kill the hero. Obviously, especially at level 1, it is half. However, you can put the second point into it. I think the skill build will just be 2-1-2, kind of get over the hump in terms of the damage per second, and then 20 instead of 25 is not the end of the world. It still is 4 minus armor. This hero is still an insane laner. It's definitely still a good hero, and they buffed the fire one a little bit. Earth Spirit, Stepping Stones, ending Rolling Boulder creates a stone remnant in front of Earth Spirit. Okay. And the mana cost was reduced. All right. Momentum, movement speed as attack speed from 20 to 30%. That's interesting. Enchantress duration increased. They buffed Enchantress. Why would you do that? They really don't care about the pro scene. I don't know. This hero's definitely good at the pro level. Surely you don't need to like buff the E. I mean, because people take this at level 1. Like, no, I hate this change. I hate this change. Afterburner Rocket Barrage movement speed only increased by hitting heroes. I don't know. It was like, I don't think the hero was broken, to be honest. And like, this was fun. It was like really fun. Now you only get the bonus movement speed. I think what they should have done is they should have made it better, but just against heroes, only against heroes. That's fine. But like, I don't know if it's that good with it only working on heroes. It's just like meh. And the other facet is so unfun and not good. So like, I don't really like this change. I don't feel like you even had to. The only team that was really abusing this hero is like Falcons, right? No one else really picked it. So I just don't understand. I just don't really understand. Huskar got 1 armor and a little bit of attack speed. Okay, here are the Juggernaut nerfs. So lost some damage on Omnislash, not terrible. Lost some damage on Blade Fury, not terrible, but it's damage per tick, which is kind of a lot. They nerfed the Axe, especially the cast range down by 100 makes it way harder to initiate with this, which sucks. And Blade Form, so this is when you run around, you get more movement speed and more attack speed. And they nerfed that. But what's funny is like the other talent is the more popular one from my experience. Or from what I've seen. I think both are good. Like this Blade Form one is very good. But I saw more people taking the spin crit. So I don't know, I think Jug is probably still pretty good, honestly. I would definitely still pick Jug. Okay, so damage to barrier, so this is the Legion Commander. Damage to barrier is now 50% instead of 100% and does not grant barrier from illusions. I'm not gonna lie, I still think the barrier's a lot because like it was way too high. Now it's like high. It's not way too high now, but it's still gonna be high. Aghanim Shard radius increased during duel from 250 to 200, that's not bad. And they nerfed the Ag's cooldown, which, I mean, that sucks. It went from 20 to 10. So you used to be able to bring your duel at level 18 down to 30 seconds, now it's gonna be 40, which does suck. And this is the second biggest nerf here. But I still think, I mean, these are big nerfs and necessary nerfs to the most broken hero I've seen in a while. I do think that this hero is better than like Wraith King and some others, but yeah, I don't think this kills it because of how broken it was. Like, honestly, at half power, I feel like Legion is still insane. Her laning stage is still going to be insane. She's still going to like put up numbers. So I wouldn't be afraid of still picking this hero. Leshrac, Chronopic Nourishment now has a 50% mana restoration penalty when attacking creeps. Okay, yeah, so basically, it's so weird. When you attacked creeps, you healed. Now it has a penalty, which makes sense. It was probably a little bit too good. Lifestealer got a slight buff. Lina got a slight buff. Lone Druid, slight buff. Magnus, reverse polarity. Okay, I don't know. This has to be like sort. I don't understand. Is this like practical, this reverse polarity? Maybe it's better than I think, but I don't know. Meepo base movement speed from 330 to 320. Movement speed nerfs always hurt heroes' win rates pretty hard, and like maybe this just will be another case of that, but I still think Meepo is just kind of an insane pub hero. Solar Flare, wow. From 14 to 18 second duration, that is Mirana's new facet where she gets to choose between her invis or bonus damage. What's really crazy is that, I mean, this is just going to last forever because you get maximum power at 8 seconds, so it charges for 8 seconds, and then it lasts for 18, which is pretty nuts. This is very powerful, and I definitely think Mirana can be a decent hero with this solar flare. I mean, it is just a lot of attack speed and damage. Allies receive only 50% of the bonus, but still, it's a lot. Waveform, so the mana cost on Waveform is better for Morphling. Now attacks all targets it goes through with 50% of Morphling's attack damage by default. Does not apply on hit effects, okay? And they changed the 20 talent from waveform attacks targets to plus 50% waveform attack damage and applies on hit effects. Okay, that's funny. I mean, these are big buffs for Morphling. That's like really huge for his farming potential. The fact that like 50% of your right click damage is now just applied during your waveform is really, really nice, and actually will help the hero a lot. Nature's Prophet, who I think definitely needed some buffs here, getting some buffs. Oh, it's just to the Ironwood Treant, which I don't really think it's that good. Is it? I can't imagine it's that good. So the Ironwood Treant health increased and the max damage increased by a lot. I mean, to be fair, it's a lot. 200 more health and 20 more damage. And they also buffed the sprout damage a little bit. Necrophos, Sadis AoE from 50 to 40, nothing crazy. Night Stalker lost 0.5 base HP regen, and they slightly nerfed his 15 talents. This hero is definitely still good. Omni Knight received a few buffs to Hammer of Purity, don't think it's going to make him good. OD lost 1 armor, not a big deal. Pangolier got some changes to double jump, which I literally have not seen yet. His shield crash damage got buffed by 10 at all levels, which like is okay. I don't know why they're buffing him, just leave him out of the meta valve. It's like fine. It's like really fine. It's really fine. Maybe no one like, to be fair, the hero's win rate is like terrible in pubs. Even when the hero's good in the pro scene, it's like really bad in pubs. I think the execution is just difficult. The scaling is a bit clunky. So like that's why, but nah, I don't know. It's like fine. Stifling Dagger counts as 2 attacks towards Coup de Grace. That's if you take Methodical. Coup de Grace procs every 6 attacks on the same hero or 4 attacks on a non-hero, I see. And so when you take this now, your Stifling Dagger counts as 2 attacks, which actually sounds like a massive buff to me, because you're going to take the Stifling Dagger cooldown of 10, and are going to be chucking these daggers that's going to allow you to near guarantee a proc on who you go on. If you throw 2 daggers at someone and then go on them, you only need 2 attacks to actually crit, guaranteed on like a mega crit. So I think this is actually a mega buff for the hero. Like, this actually might, I don't want to say it's going to put her in the meta, but it's going to make her a way better pub hero, no doubt. Pudge, well, like, heavy nerfed his fresh meat facet bonus strength per tick. What even is this? Flares hook meat hook distance as damage increase. Yeah, I heard it was terrible. This damage on hook apparently was just like awful, and so they buffed it. I can't imagine it's good. I'm sure you just take the other one though still. Sand King, Dust Devil Sandstorm now no longer, I think they meant no longer, yeah, no longer gets destroyed if left by Sand King, and keeps following him if he leaves it. Dust Devil Sandstorm no longer gets destroyed if left by Sand King and keeps following him if he leaves it? That sounds insane. Which one is Dust Devil? Sandstorm follows Sand King when he moves or burrow strikes, and it just doesn't end? It just doesn't end? Wow, that's like so good actually. What a buff. Oh, Sand King, I mean, I think Sand King's gotta be really good. This hero's gotta be really good. Especially now you take this Dust Devil, and like your Sandstorm, I mean, it's just way easier to farm with it. Even if you leave it and you need to kite out in a team fight, it's just gonna keep going. I mean, that's huge for just doing damage and farming and everything. I mean, that's great. They nerfed Shaman a bit, Shackles damage, and Foul Play cooldown. Probably still a good hero though. Slark, Barracuda, movement speed increased, health gain increased, so basically if you're out of vision on Slark, you get more HP regen in lane, so trying to help out Slark's laning stage, which makes sense to me. Snapfire gained damage. So Snapfire gained 3 base damage, which is actually a lot, and they buffed Little Shredder damage by 5 at all levels, which is also a lot because it's like 6 attacks, right? So, or, yeah, right? Yeah, 6 attacks. So that's like at a bonus 30 damage. That's pretty huge. Forsaken, they buffed one of Spectre's facets, which is okay. Storm lost base mana, which is actually pretty rough. But one of his facets, which I don't even think people took, got nerfed. Why are they doing this? This is like such a weird theme of the patch. They're like nerfing, I mean, unless they just have numbers on like what has higher win rate, and maybe pros are just taking bad facets, but like, which is totally possible. But I just don't even see people taking this facet. Sten got 4 base strength. What in the world? 4 base strength? Oh, I think it's because they took it off of Great Cleave, which was a decent nerf to the hero. Bonus damage on God Strength increased by 10%. at all levels, which is pretty nice. Techies got 0.75 HP regen, which is pretty nice. TA getting nerfed here. Shield per instance decreased. So this is the damage, I assume. It's, okay, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. It works in such a weird way now, the shield per instance. It's so odd, but okay, I mean, this is a big nerf because now instead of getting 2 instances of 60 shields, you get 2 instances of 40 shield at level 1. So you lose an extra 40 HP, right? I'm not crazy? The shield per instance on TA, so when she puts up her shield, the amount of shield she gets per instance has been reduced by 10 at all levels, which kind of snowballs. Psyblade range reduced. This is the spill range, for sure. Reduced from 550 at level 1 to 350, making it way harder to use this, especially if your opponent is a ranged hero. It'll be near impossible to actually use it. And then meld damage was decreased by 10 at level 1, and then all the way up to 25 at max. So pretty rough, Terrorblade, Soul Fragment, Conjure Image, current HP cost reduced from 20 to 15, okay? Tinker, a lot of changes here, which makes sense. The hero was the lowest win rate hero of the patch. It was pathetic. Translocator applies a strong dispel to Tinker before blinking. Okay, what is Translocator? When a self-defense matrix barrier on Tinker is fully absorbed, he blinks in a random forward direction. Okay, so now that hard dispels him, which certainly sounds pretty good. Eureka! Oh wait, no, there's more. Blink random direction angle reduced, so it's less random, and the distance is further. So this is really going to help you get out. You just can't get stunned after your E ends, which is honestly insane. And then it blinks you further and more consistently. Eureka, intelligence per 1% item CDR reduced from 4 to 3? Oh, I see. So now you need less intelligence to get more item cooldown, which is pretty cool. It makes it easier to use that. Mana cost on March of Machines is better. The damage is better at all levels, scaling from 1 to F4 extra. Keen Convoyance is now 3 seconds flat channel time, which is insane because it used to be 4 at level 1. Warp Flare mana cost is better, and Rearm mana cost is better. So, yeah, I mean, this is like an insane amount of buffs. Will it make Tinker good? I don't know. I'm not a Tinker player. I haven't seen the hero. I saw like one game, it looked okay. I saw another game where it looked absolutely garbage. And I don't know if even these amount of buffs will make him viable. Obviously, this will increase the win rate by like a significant amount because it's an insane amount of buffs, probably 4 or 5% minimum, but who knows if it's enough. Okay, Tiny, mana cost on Avalanche increased by a little at the early levels and a lot at the later levels, and mana cost on Toss increased, so really trying to hurt this hero's mana pool. And Strength to slow resistance reduced from 25 to 20. The hero's still going to be a good carry though. It's kind of weird. I thought they would do more. But okay, I mean, honestly, I don't mind it. Like, Tiny Carry is pretty cool, and I actually don't think it's broken. I think it's very good, and it's like something everyone should try. It's fun. And the mana cost is now a problem now, like especially in Carry Tiny where you're not buying mana boots. So we'll have to see how people kind of get around that. But yeah, I mean, I like Tiny Carry. I don't even like laning against it, and I really don't love playing against it, but I think it's like something fun for carry players to do and to try. And so I really don't mind them like not instantly killing it. I really don't. Visage, like, Legion Commander needed to be insta-killed, or at least hurt. Tiny, I'm fine with them not. Visage Familiars now preserve their Stone Form, Alt Cast Mode, and resummoned, okay? Wow, Stone Form, which is an ability on Visage, can now be cast even when silenced or stunned. Damn, that is insane. You can just save yourself? That is insane, actually. Wow, that's actually so crazy. You can just save yourself while you're silenced or stunned. That is a huge buff. Void Spirit, a little bit of nerf to Sanctuary, which was part of the reason he was super buffed. His win rate shot up by like 5%, was because of the Sanctuary facet made him have an all damage barrier instead of his previous physical damage barrier, which is much better in the early game. You super need it. Warlock, imp damage, explosion reduced the damage. The same at level 1, nearly the same at level 2. And then in the later levels, it gets hurt a bit, but still a good hero for sure. Winter Wyvern got nerfed on her facet, the damage per attack range. So much worse in the laning stage, hurting this hero's laning. And they nerfed, wow, why would you hurt, why hero's been so bad for so long? Like, this is what I don't get, like, I don't think you need to hurt Wyvern. Like, the hero doesn't seem hyper broken at all. It's not to me. And it's like, cool, it's finally good again. Why would you take away what it's good at, which was getting a lot of bonus damage in the laning stage, and then having finally a strong Splinter Blast? Personally, I don't like changes like that, but, you know, that's my thing. Okay, so Wraith King, his Spirit Wraith duration was rescaled, so it's better early on, but worse later on, which I don't think is that bad. Cursed Blade, Cursed damage reduced from 70% to 50%, so a big nerf to the bonus damage you get from Spectral Blade, which definitely hurts the hero. Wraith Duration rescaled. Wait, what? Oh, the first change was the Aghanim Spirit Wraith Duration. I see. So that's on the allies. But the Wraith Duration, it was changed as well for the hero. The Vampiric Spirit, where you turn into the green version of yourself. That was also rescaled. So it's better at level 1, but it's worse at max by a second. So interesting. And then they definitely nerfed the Spectral Blade pretty hard. It's 5 worse at level 1 and 20 worse at max, which certainly hurts. And most importantly, it's 20% worse. So yeah, best hero in the game, arguably, for pubs, hit pretty hard. Do I think it makes Wraith King a bad hero? No, I do not. I still think Wraith King will be a top 5 carry for pubs after this. But all right, that's going to be all for today's video. I'm making a lot of videos on the patch, so if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, like the video. I'm literally posting daily here and on the Game League website. If you don't know what the Game League website is, basically I post educational videos there if you're trying to get to the next level in Dota, struggling to gain rank, whatever it is. If you just like the game, there's going to be guides for you, videos for you. I'm posting daily new content on 7.36. As I said, I just made a CK guide. I just made a Dragonite guide. I post a lot of the individual hero guides over there that I don't want to necessarily spam to YouTube at the moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.